In this video, we're going to take a look at how to calculate your CSRS annuity. To compute the annuity, we look at the length of service, including civilian, military, and unused sick leave, multiplied by your high 3 average salary, times the general formula to get your base annuity. The first part of that, calculating the length of service. In this example, we've got an employee who served 4 years in the Army, plus 2 other agencies. They also get to count their unused sick leave for a total of 31 years and 9 months. Now you can see in the calculation that there are 15 days that drop off the end and no credit is given for, because the annuity calculations are only based on full and complete months. Your high 3 average salary is the average of basic pay during any consecutive 3-year period when those rates were the highest. Now that actually breaks down by month, so it's the highest consecutive 36 months. That's usually the last 3 years of service, but not always. What does basic pay include? Locality pay, hazardous duty or environmental pay, AUO, and leave. What it doesn't include is bonuses, overtime, or air traffic controller premium pay. The general formula for calculating a CSRS annuity is based on which years you're looking at. You get 1.5% for the first 5 years, 1.75% for the next 5 years, and 2% of the remaining service that is applied for the final calculation of the basic annuity. Now we're going to take a look at an example. 31 years, 7 months worth of service. The high 3, $63,752. You see in the calculation here, we're going to look at 1.5% times the first 5 years for $47.81, 1.75% for the next 5 years, $55.78, and the full 2% for the remaining 21 years and 7 months for a total of $27,519. All added up, we come to a total annuity of $37,879.78, which equates to a monthly balance or a monthly annuity of $31.56. You see the note at the bottom, annuities are rounded down to the nearest dollar. The next thing to take a look at is some of the reductions that can be made to that annuity. You can make reductions for age, unpaid deposits, survivor annuities, unpaid redeposits, or alternative annuities. We're going to take a look at each one of those briefly now. The first is a reduction for age. This is for CSRS employees who retire early, either on discontinued service or a VERA retirement. You're subject to a reduction in your annuity of 2% per year under the age of 55. And that's broken down monthly, so it's 0.1% per month for every month under your age of 55. An unpaid deposit applies to CSRS, and what it does is your annuity can be reduced by 10% of your unpaid deposit for any service prior to October 1st of 1982. An unpaid deposit is time where you worked and you did not pay retirement contributions at the time. Reduction, the next one, is for a survivor annuity. A survivor annuity, you can see some of my other videos on survivor benefits for further details, but your survivor annuity is 55% of your elected base annuity. When selecting that base annuity, you will pay 2.5% for the first $3,600 and 10% of your annuity after that. So if you're going to apply it to your entire annuity, the prior example of $31.56 a month, it's going to cost you about 10% of that, or just under. Reductions for unpaid CSRS redeposits. A redeposit is the amount you owe for a refund you took when you left service in a prior time. If it was prior to March 1st of 1991, you can still get credit for that service, but you will be reduced by an actuarial reduction that's calculated by OPM. The final reduction is for an alternative annuity. These are relatively rare, but they're for an employee who retires subject to a life-threatening illness or medical condition, and you can take a lump sum plus a reduced annuity so that more of that money is available to you earlier. Again, this is rare, and you would have to look in your particular situation if it applied to you. And we talked about reductions. The next part is withholdings from the annuity. These are things that you elect that you are paying for that will be removed and deducted from that annuity before it gets to you. First, FEHB for health insurance, FEGLI for the life insurance, federal and state taxes, Medicare Part B if you are enrolled, any allotments you have, for example, to a savings bond account, and garnishment for alimony and child support. The CSRS also has a maximum annuity that is payable. That maximum annuity is 80% of your high three. You hit that after working for 41 years and 11 months. The only exception is if your unused sick leave adds on to that, can bump it slightly higher. So you could be up to around 81% if you had 6 months worth of sick leave. Anything that you make over that maximum contribution will either be refunded to you or given to the CSRS Voluntary Contribution Program. And what that VCP program is it's only available to CSRS employees. The contributions go in with after-tax funds. The maximum you can put in is 10% of your lifetime earnings. For most people that have worked an entire career in federal service, that amount is pretty significant. That money earns a guaranteed interest, the same as the G fund. Now, what the decision point is, if you are using the VCP program, is at retirement you can do one of two things. You can purchase a fixed annuity to add on to your existing. Now that comes at $7 per year for every $100 in your VCP account. So you get a 7% payback on that every year, but that 7% would not step up with inflation over time. It would be a fixed annuity at that 7%. The more common option is to take that VCP account and roll it over into an IRA or the TSP. Because your VCP contributions went in after tax, they can be rolled directly to a Roth IRA, which would never see taxes on the earnings on that again. The earnings in the VCP program could be rolled over into a traditional IRA or the TSP. One of the ways that this particular program is utilized by many CSRS employees is to make one large Roth IRA contribution at one time if you have the funds to do so. The next part of annuity calculations is how they calculate going forward with cost of living adjustments. That amount is determined by Congress and is based on a per month basis. What that means is if you retire in the middle of the year, you don't get a full year's worth of COLA for that first year. It will be prorated by the number of months you were retired. For CSRS employees, that cost of living adjustment is tied directly to the CPI. So whatever the posted CPI is, that will be your cost of living adjustment. That's it for the federal annuity calculations. If you have any other questions on how those are made up or some of your other options, please check out some of our other videos. Thank you.